Hey guys, and welcome back to Garden of Kayland.
Where plants run free with jokes and clumsiness. Let's make it green and wild in the Garden of Kayland.
Recently, you guys saw part 1 of my plant tour, which was everything downstairs in my collection. But today we're gonna do part 2, and that's everything upstairs in my collection. There's a lot of plants to look at, so let's jump right into it. But before we get started, hi, I'm Kayla and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome, and be sure to subscribe if plants are your vibe. All right, so you've already seen the entire downstairs indoor portion of my plants, so let's move upstairs. First, I want to address this view because I love the way the vines are trailing down. That's going to need to be addressed soon, but I really do love the look of the plants trailing down. My dream is to have like this entire thing covered in plants. Not to mention the way the sunlight hits it in the morning is top tier. I can't say that the lighting is phenomenal, but they do their very best to thrive. So I appreciate them for that. I've got this manjula pothos that, believe it or not, I found at a grocery store. It was way fuller, way longer than this, but it has since kind of lost a little bit of its luster because on these stairs, I kind of forget to water them sometimes. So anyway, I've done a lot better so far this year and it's starting to come around a little bit more. And this is a little bit hard to see at a distance because of how dark it is, but this is my philodendron rojo Congo that I absolutely adore, even though it's still juvenile and has been juvenile for years, literally at this point. So yeah, that's there. And then there's yet another Justinia pothos right here. I think it looks so good with this backdrop, like with the white background. A syngonium, I forget which kind this one is, but I got this from like Lowe's or something for $6, you know the ones. And then of course a philodendron Brazil, which you, like I said before in the last video. By the way, if you haven't seen part 1, go and check that out. But yeah, I kind of do the philodendron Brazil thing everywhere in the house because they're so easy to grow. They grow so beautifully, they grow so fast, and they're so low maintenance. Now, if you were to head up the stairs, you kind of see that I have a little something going on here. My silver band Maranta, because why not? It is such a beautiful plant. I don't have a lot of Marantas, at least in comparison to the other genus of plants that I keep. But yeah, this one, the Marantas love this spot. I'll show you another one in a second that also loves this spot that is a lot more mature, but because the other one did so well, I just knew this one would thrive and it's definitely doing so. I haven't gotten any brown tips on it so far, so fingers crossed that it stays that way. And my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma starting to climb up the wall, which originally was my plan, but now I'm really not so sure because I don't know how I feel about these roots attaching to my wall and to the paint. So I'm not all that sure how I feel about it now, but so far it is growing quite nicely. A neon pothos because why not? And the leaves are getting so big, like they're growing such a nice size. It's just not that big of a plant, which I assume is because this is somewhat a low light area. And well, you know, low light equals slower growth for most plants, but it still looks so gorgeous. This bright neon color in contrast with the rest of the plants, in contrast with the white, it is so perfect. This is a great spot for it. It's a great filler plant, but it's also a filler plant that is actually eye-catching and gorgeous. Okay, and this is the other Maranta I was telling you guys about. It does so beautifully on these stairs. I don't know what it loves about it because it's not humid in any way, shape, or form around here, but yeah, it's loving this lower light. It's loving the neglect that I give these plants. So I'm just gonna keep on doing what I'm doing so that it continues to grow. It flowers a lot. Can you just imagine it draping downward along this wall? It would be beautiful, but my kids would destroy it. So I've continued to just like, you know, put it up as much as I can. It actually probably needs to be put up again, but I love this bushy look. I love how healthy and happy it is here. I can't necessarily say the same for this Ripsalis, but It's okay right now. I did just tend to it like in anticipation for this video, but there were like a lot of browning tips and just like dead stems and dead leaves, or whatever you want to call these. But such a beautiful plant. My idea is to get this one to droop downward in hopes that it would like kind of stay kind of close to the wall. It kind of just gravity pulls it down. So I'm not really that worried about my kids destroying it, but this one does not thrive on neglect. So I do have to get better, and I have gotten a little bit better about watering this and keeping it watered. But yeah, all in all, I may have to eventually move it to a different spot. And the plant that started it all, my heartleaf philodendron, is just all over the place. I originally wanted this one to grow up the wall too. I thought that it would kind of go like diagonal because that's where the window is, but it's just doing its own thing, and I've just been allowing it to do so. These leaves are incredibly dusty. I don't think you can tell on screen, but yeah, I wish that I had just let them drape so that I could get it down and like clean it more often, but it is what it is. As long as I keep this plant watered, it kind of doesn't complain. On this cute little stand is my philodendron mexicanum, and I was kind of hesitant about putting it here at first because I was concerned about the lack of light. But with the help from this mirror and some other windows that are upstairs, it is getting a little bit more than I thought it would, and it is still pushing out some pretty nice sized leaves. I love the leaves on here. They're still kind of juvenile right now, but they will eventually be shaped like the letter T, like an uppercase T. And that is what made me want to get this plant in the first place. But I am a little bit concerned about, oh, look at this root growing out of the moss pole. Like, that's crazy. I'm a little bit concerned about this moss pole. This is one of my homemade moss poles. So I found that with the homemade ones, they are a little bit more difficult to expand. When I say I'm concerned, I mean, it's just like such an eyesore to look at, but it's also kind of like, I feel like I have to go to the DMV. Like, I just kind of dread the process. So I've just left it alone for now. And you know, one of these days I'll get around to it. Another philodendron Brazil right here. It's so odd, but the colors on this plant look so much better when I put them in not a completely dark area, but in like a darker spot. They seem to like it more. A little baby snake plant, that's my neighbor's, but he wanted me to bring it back to life for him. So I just left it here. You know, they thrive on neglect, at least mine do. In this mason jar full of leca, I have a global green pothos that I just couldn't bring myself to throw away. And I really need to get better at like getting rid of propagations, but this is back when I just could not let any plants go. And another global green there. I don't know, I went through a global green phase, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. And in this little bubble planter full of moss is this, I think it's called like a paulownia. I'll have to look it up and put it on the screen. But these, you guys, if you see these, beware because they grow like weeds. I originally had them in my terrarium. Oh, they're so pretty though. The colors on here are so pretty. But I had them in my terrarium and they started taking over the whole thing. So I took a bunch of cuttings. So you may see a few of those throughout the house as well. The very first room you see walking up the stairs is my son Carson's room, and it very much gives like a little boy lives here, but I am able to capitalize off of a lot of the sunlight coming through. This is a southwest facing window, so I could not leave this room plantless, but I kind of only put warrior plants in here because they have to be like very strong and resilient to be placed in a little boy's room. But all of them are doing really great. This is my philodendron red lux, and oh my gosh, how dark these leaves are and how textured these leaves are is crazy. I've got my Sansi light on it. It's really started picking up growth wise since the light hours kind of extended. So yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm really looking forward to how big I can get this thing. There are 2 plants in here, so I'm wondering, should I separate them and maybe they'll get a little bit bigger? But it's definitely gonna need a repot sometime this season. And this is my extremely treasured Hoya Matilde Splash that I can't stop obsessing over. And it's not growing very fast in this spot, but it is growing very steady and it looks so happy and full. I really want the splashiness on here to be a little bit more pronounced. So I'm thinking about moving it to a brighter spot, maybe putting it under a grow light. I mean, it is getting a little bit of light from here, but I would just rather it be a whole lot more splashy than this, but it's still such a gorgeous plant either way. My philodendron choco empress is so impressive. It had to have a corner of its own. No matter how many times I chop and prop this thing, it continuously grows like a monster. I'm so happy with it. It's just such a breathtaking plant, and I cannot get enough of these serrated leaves and how they kind of have this red veining underneath. And then when they come in, they're this copper color that I absolutely adore. But like I said, they take up a lot of space and they're monsters when it comes to growth. So this is a perfect spot for it, especially with the white dresser. And as it continuously grows upward, I think it'll, this is a great spot for it. So it's not very often that I find a spot in my house I'm like, oh, this spot was made for this plant specifically. So yeah, philodendron choco empress doing very well. It always does well, so that's not really that much of a surprise, but it is gorgeous. I couldn't wait to show you guys the Dean McDowell that I put in my son's room. It was in my office with the rest of the, top tier plants, but yeah, it started overgrowing the space that I had it in. And so the Monstera that I had here had died anyway. It was steadily going downhill. So it was perfect. It's a perfect spot. And I've got this one in my naked root planter, so I'm not like really worried about watering as much. But you guys, this plant is doing so well. If you don't have one of these, go get one. They're not even expensive anymore. And I'm like 90% sure that the Dean McDowell is a crawler, but I have mine, as you can see, climbing. I wonder though if the leaves would be way bigger than this if I did let it do what it naturally wants to do. I just don't have the space for that right now, and I really, really want to keep this plant, so I decided to let it climb. Another leaf unfurling right here. It's just such a happy, thriving philodendron. Not so happy and thriving is my philodendron Spiritus Sancti and Patriciae, so it's a hybrid. And so I recently cut this up. It was just growing way too crazy. It wasn't looking all that great. I had a bunch of yellow leaves on it. You can still see like a little bit of drama right there. But yeah, once I cut it up and I put all the leaves facing forward, and that was about a month ago. So I think now it might be doing a little bit better. I have a new leaf coming in here. It'll be nice and full. So I don't know, my fingers are kind of crossed with this one, but yeah, I really wanted this plant, so it's really important for me that it's happy and healthy. I got this because I loved like the strappy nature of the plant, and I needed all the leaves to like be neat. And I think I'm starting to kind of accomplish that a little bit. I mean, the window is right here, so they're going to naturally face the light. But I do have a new leaf coming in on it, so we'll see. And the Synapsis Satin Jade looks so great against this black wall. It is perfect, especially in a white pot. Like the combination of the natural wood color, the white, the matte green, like everything about this setup is so perfect. I cannot wait for this plant to get bigger, but it has been growing so outrageously slow. It's been in this spot for 2 years, I want to say, and this is all that I've gotten from it so far. So it's just really crazy to me and a little bit discouraging, but it's okay. I mean, I have no choice but to be okay with it because like there's nothing I can really do. One of the things that I have been doing is getting a lot better about watering it. So yeah, hopefully that kind of speeds the growth up a little bit, but isn't it just perfect? I know we're kind of fighting against the light, but this fishbone cactus is one of my favorites. And one of my favorite things is how it starts to turn red as it starts getting more sunlight. These are actually a little bit spiky, kind of in the crevices and cracks. I found that out the hard way, so if you have one of these, be careful. If you don't have one of these, definitely get one. They're really easy going. I think they're very funky and uniquely shaped, and it's just one of those plants you can't really go wrong with unless you overwater it. I have a little Synapsis right here. Like I said, we're fighting against the light, so it's kind of hard to see, but one of the plants I really want to do better with is my Crimson Queen, because I'm just kind of getting like mostly green leaves on here. I get one of these every now and again, but I am a little bit disappointed in the coloring on here. It's a little bit odd to me because I've got it right in front of such a hot and bright window. So it just kind of throws me off. My philodendron Billy, nothing too crazy as far as lighting, but still thriving. Like Do y'all see that? And I love how in this spot, like you'll see another one that I have, but this one that is getting a lot less light, to me, it just looks so much better. The leaves look darker and it's just like, I don't know, I'm really enamored by this plant. I always have been. I got this plant as a seedling 3 years ago, and the fact that it's like maturing, and the other one you'll see, I ended up separating them, but the fact that it's like maturing is like a sense of pride for me because yeah, I've had it for so long and I've worked so hard on it and loved it so much. So it's really one of those plants that I will never get rid of, that I'll always have. And it also looks really cool. And I definitely cannot forget about this plant. This is one of my favorites. And this is just making me so sad how it's yellowing. It's breaking my heart. It really is. But look at this incredible leaf shape and size. This is the philodendron African Fantasy. And it's a cross between the Selim and the Goldie Eye. And I feel like I talk about this plant so much, but I'm trying to calm it down. Finally pushed out a new leaf. It had one before and I snapped it off, so it just pushed that one out. And then I saw recently that there's another one on the way. So the problem that I was having with this plant was I was giving it too much light and it was like stressing it out and I couldn't keep up with the watering. So not only did I put it in a naked root planter to kind of assist with that, but I also moved it to a darker area so that I don't really have to worry about, you know, the bright light as much. And this ended up being a perfect spot for it. On the flip side, these are definitely filler plants that I'm not very proud of. They look a little bit sad and wonky, but these are all plants that I was like, okay, I don't want to throw you away, but I don't really want to have to look at you anymore either. So I did what any normal person would do and put them in my son's room. Look at this Micans. It looks not good at all. The boys' bathroom is another place that I kind of keep some kind of chill plants, like nothing too crazy because I don't want them destroying it. But oh my goodness, this is another Ripsalis that I absolutely love. I'm not gonna lie, it's really awkward like being somewhere where there's a toilet and like talking to thousands of people. But anyway, it doesn't grow as fast as I want it to because I forget to water it, but it loves being in this bathroom. What I'm looking forward to is getting some blooms on here. One of you guys sent me a picture of yours in bloom and it was so gorgeous. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get to that point. So I am being a little more diligent about watering it. This little stand is more so plants that need a little bit more humidity than some of my others. Like my Homalomina Sobe down here was definitely struggling. You can still see some signs of that right there, but yeah, I had to put this in a bathroom because no matter where else I put it in the house, it just was not happy until I put it in here. Like either there was too much light or there was too little humidity. Like I could not get it right. And then I put it in here and it finally stopped wilting, stopped crisping up, started pushing out more leaves. So it's on its way back up. I just really needed this to thrive. This for sure is one that I want to get full and huge and bushy. And then maybe I'll put it in a bigger planter and like set it there on the side. But she's on her way. She's on her way, y'all. I've got a Goldie Eye right here that was going downhill because they are very thirsty. And where I had it was getting plenty of light, which was good, but it was just drinking up the water too much. And yeah, I couldn't keep up with it. But look at these leaves, you guys. It's just such a jungle vibe. And I love that. I love how these leaves like kind of go in this semicircle. Look at this new one that I have coming in. Like I said, it likes being in here. It loves the humidity, the kind of lower light, you know, from this north facing window. So nothing too crazy. And I'm very happy with it now. So I'm definitely leaving it in here. And then in the mix a little bit is this calathea that, I mean, let's be real, would not be alive right now if I didn't keep in this bathroom. But I've had it a while and I wanted to kind of, I don't know, keep it. So I put it in here and now it's thriving and growing and looking so much better. I used to constantly, like on a consistent basis, have brown tips, brown edges, or completely brown leaves. And now we're doing great. And then I don't really know what this philodendron is, but I love these paddle shaped leaves. and like how weird and strange it is and how bizarre it's growing out of this pot. I have it in, like, I've had this for so long, and it's always been a spot filler for me. But ever since it started kind of growing weird like this, I've just fallen in love with it. This hasn't been in here as long as the others, but since I put it in here, it has seemed to get a lot happier. Before, I kept getting like these wilted looking leaves. So I'm happy to have it in this spot now and see what all it's going to end up doing. I'm probably gonna put it on a trellis though. And let's just head down this hallway. I couldn't really put anything else in the hallway besides right here because of this window. And when I tell y'all, the morning light is just like, where is that? I mean it. So this is the starting point of those long vines that we saw a few minutes ago, just kind of draping down the stairs. This is one of my favorite like DIY, I don't know, plant setups, because I found this birch wood at a nursery. I was like, what do I do with it? It took me forever to figure out what, but it ended up working out so perfectly. I've got a pothos here that I recently put here, actually because it was in my kids' room getting way too much light and I wasn't getting up there watering it. So I figured here would be a much better spot for it. Another pothos right here, just some staple plants, and then a heartleaf philodendron that's kind of going down. And these little glow terrariums are so cute and so handy. And even more perfect about them is I got them for $1 back when everything was still $1 at the Dollar Tree. I couldn't believe I found these, but yeah, I haven't really put anything in these in years. As you can tell, like there used to be an air plant. There used to be an air plant. So one of these days coming up, I'm going to like revamp these and actually put something in them. And then I have this green planter with another pothos in it. And then randomly like a cutting of Cebu blue pothos right here. I really wish that this planter was like black or white instead of gray on gray, but you know, it's okay. I have a ZZ plant here in like this basket planter. I have this thing for baskets. I don't know, I feel like it's a millennial thing. Baskets, pillows, throw blankets, like things you absolutely don't need. And draping down here is my Anthurium viridifolium that I need to check this out actually, because I tried to pollinate it. Nope, and it didn't take because there's pollen coming off of it. So I guess it didn't work. But anyway, I've been trying to like pollinate anthuriums, and this was just another experiment. But yeah, it's growing okay right here. And of course a mirror right here. You guys, my AC just came on and I'm like standing right under it. So, oh, that's so, look how dusty that is. But I've got a variegated peace lily right here that I recently started over, and you know, in hopes that it would do better. And it did end up starting to do better in this spot. So this is again where it will stay. Philodendron micans, that's kind of a new cutting, but philodendron micans look great everywhere and anywhere. So yeah, it's gonna look really cute once it starts trailing down this white wall. And then a basic syngonium right here that's doing okay. I think this was like the strawberry shake or milk confetti or one of those, but this pot doesn't have drainage holes. So I've been kind of struggling with it. I keep saying I'm going to repot this and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. This is another one of the kids' rooms, but Knox is actually knocked out right now. So I'm not going in there and chancing waking him up at all. So we'll do that one last, if we do it at all. There's only like 3 plants in there or something. And then there's my office, which like my bedroom has a very concentrated amount of plants. So these are the ones that I really could not wait to show you guys. Not all of it is good, but yeah, let's get into it. Unlike most of my upstairs plants, the plants in this room have a lot of supplemental lighting. It gets really good lighting as is, but because I have such a large amount of them, I just don't want them all fighting, you know, for one little tiny window that I have in here, even though the light coming in is very bright. Me and this string of turtles have been on such a roller coaster ride. Not recently, but when I first got it, I just couldn't get it right and I had to repot it. And when I repotted it, most of it died. So I ended up cutting everything off and starting it over. And this is what I'm left with. And even recently I've given it a haircut. And yeah, it's just so much fuller. It just looks so much better now. I'm so happy. I really just can't believe how far we've come, because string of anything is usually very difficult for me and others. So I'm not alone there, but yeah, I'm very, very pleased with it. This is my philodendron Florida bronze. I'm actually kind of shocked at how slowly this plant grows. I don't know, especially for it to be like directly under a grow light. This plant is extremely slow. So if you didn't know, the Florida bronze is a cross between the philodendron black cardinal and I think the regular Florida. So it gets like these bronze, like dark colored leaves, which I love. And then it has these red petioles from the Florida, but it's very slow, like I said. So I think it gets that from his daddy's side, because the black cardinal grows pretty slowly. But yeah, either way, I'm happy with it. I do wish it would kind of speed up so I could have enough plant to propagate it. I probably could propagate it right now. Yeah, it's just annoying that it's growing so slowly. One of my favorites that I just recently repotted is my philodendron golden crocodile that just grows and grows and grows nonstop. Look at these beautiful neon, like narrow serrated leaves. It's just incredible. It's such an incredible, underrated plant, in my opinion. And look how they come out orange like this. I mean, there is nothing to complain about with this. It's so low maintenance. Like, I've never had pest on it. I had it in this, y'all, I had it in the smallest pot before I put it in here. It was ridiculous. Like, I had the small pot in this as a catch pot, but I finally just repotted it actually into the pot. Definitely another one of my favorite philodendron, and one that I'm going to end up keeping forever. And back here is my philodendron orange marmalade. Yeah, in my recent plant chores video, I repotted it and it's doing so much better now. My Huperzia here is something straight out of a fantasy movie. I mean, she's still in moss because yeah, they hate drying out, love humidity, but as long as you're giving them like bright indirect light, which I think mine might be just on the bright side, they grow so rapidly. I just got this not even 2 months ago yet, and all that like lighter green down here is all new growth. So it's just been so happy and healthy, and I'm so surprised that I'm keeping it alive this long. Yep, I need to water it again. But I do not let this dry out at all, and in doing that, it seems to do very well. I am so looking forward to this anthurium getting bigger. Like, I can already tell. I mean, you can too. It's going to be dark. It's going to be one of those long leaves that is like matte and velvety. So this is the Anthurium regale crossed with Moro Ninsei. And I think that both of those parents are going to make for a really unique looking Anthurium. And hybrid Anthuriums are something that I've really been into lately. Dark Anthuriums are something I've really been into lately. So I think that this is such a good combination of both of those things. And I mean, it's got one little leaf on it, but it's better than none. I want at least 3 of them over the growing season. I feel like that might be a little bit ambitious, but a girl can dream. Sometimes people say, oh my gosh, your plants are all so beautiful and healthy. And this is the one that comes to mind when they say that, because girl, no, they are not. This has definitely been a struggle for me. This is the Begonia Zanzibar, and I got it because it was so dark and moody, but it ended up like being dark and moody for real. I don't really know what I'm doing wrong, but I do see a little bit of new growth right there. It's bad when I'm looking at this itty bitty tiny leaf and like getting excited about it. But yeah, that's where I am with this begonia right now. It is so pretty, y'all. Like, up under this grow light, it almost looks purple or blue. And depending on where I move it, it just kind of changes color. But I'm so hell bent on getting this to thrive. I will pretty much do anything at this point. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. This little gem is my Philanthus mirabilis. And yes, she was very high on my wish list, and I finally got her, and she didn't disappoint. The leaves at night fold up like little butterfly wings. It's such a magical experience. And I admire how sculptural the plant is, like this thick caudex, this airy, whimsical foliage. She's definitely a pretty slow grower at times, but yeah, she's worth every second of my patience, to be honest. Back here in the cut is my Hoya caudata, and I mean, just look at her. It's got this fuzzy textured foliage with like splashes of silver, and it's just like random splashes too. It's so incredible. It really makes it stand out in the fuzziness. I want to see if I can capture it. It's kind of hard for you to see it on camera, but it is, I don't know, it's just very unique. And it's a very firm leaf, so I don't know what I keep doing wrong with it, but every single time I water this Hoya, I have 1 or 2 yellow leaves. Let me see. Like this one's kind of yellowing. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that happens whenever I water it. And I do wait for it to dry out completely. So I'm really not sure what's going on there, but I just repotted it and cleaned it up. And it's looking so much better. It was just so out of control, you guys. Like tendrils were everywhere. It was kind of a hot mess. So I put it up on this trellis and it looks so much neater, so much better now. And now I can like really admire the leaves a little bit more without it being so chaotic. My Hoya clemensiorum black splash was another one that was on my wish list. These elongated leaves are kind of shaped, oh my gosh, and it's fuzzy by the way, you guys. But yeah, these leaves are kind of shaped like daggers. And then you've got these tones of emerald, of course, this prominent dark veining. You guys, what is not to love about this? This is such an incredible, incredible Hoya, and it's very dramatic, almost prehistoric looking. And I definitely, for sure, have a thing for prehistoric looking leaves. Like, look at that, you guys. Look hiding, or not so much hiding, I guess, is my Hoya croniana silver. And it has gone completely silver. It used to just be splashes of silver, but yeah, we're on the move now. Another Hoya is my AH074 silver, and this leaf has to be by far my favorite. The rest of them are okay, like a little bit is, well, this is a pretty good leaf. Okay, the lighting is so much better in this spot, but yeah, it stopped growing after I propagated it and for a while, and then it recently started picking back up again. But it's giving me like greener leaves than I kind of hoped for. This is more so my vibe here. And this was another Hoya when I was going through like my silver splashy Hoya phase. This was another one that I got. I'm definitely so glad that I got it, and it really made me want more of them, honestly. I have a Syngonium red arrow right here, which I used to have closer to the window, but I discovered that these grow a lot darker and a lot healthier when I put them like in a darker area. So that's what I ended up doing, and I pretty much lost the entire plant at first. It's just now starting to grow back. Let me actually show you what it looks like in the light. So the front of the leaves is still dark, which I love, but it's the back of the leaves that gets me every time. Like this red is just incredible. So I do want to get this back to its lush, like full state that it was in before. This one, in comparison to other Syngoniums, is pretty slow growing. I'm just kind of letting it do what it does right now. This wild looking plant here is my philodendron hotanianum. I got it as a itty bitty cutting about 2 years ago, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that this is all I have of it now. I know it looks like just a bunch of like narrow leaves, but it is eventually going to have tri-lobed foliage, and you can kind of see the resemblance right here. But this is a pretty rare philodendron, so when I saw that, you know, I could get a cutting of it, I think it was like a $40 cutting, I went ahead and did that without knowing that it was gonna take forever to grow. I thought it would be a little bit faster, but I'm not gonna say I'm happy with the growth because I don't really like how it looks right now, but I know I'm going to be happy with it, so I'm willing to wait. I did not realize how big my Hoya compacta was getting until I was recently watching another plant tour that I did, and I was like, whoa, it's way bigger than that now. But I know that these are notoriously slow, but mine has actually started kind of making some moves here recently, which I'm excited about. I'm really hoping for this to get massive because I want to make it like a focal point downstairs somewhere. So I couldn't really do that with how small it is now because I'm gonna hang it. It's even still like in the hanging basket. It just didn't look right hanging. This is my pride and joy Hoya Bertonier Variegata, or the Variegated Bertonier. And you guys, I searched far and wide for this thing, let me tell you. Now I kind of see it a little bit more often. But yeah, I got it as such a juvenile plant, and it's still really juvenile, honestly. But I have constant blooms on this one. The Bertonier in general is one of my favorite Hoya, but the variegated one is just top tier. It hasn't stopped. So it started in like January, and I've just had continuous blooms on it ever since. So this is referred to as a pickle cactus, and not much to look at right now, but it's finally starting to drop down out of the pot, which is what I really liked about this plant. I actually found this, like a little piece of this on the floor at our nursery, And I was like, what the heck, why not? And then I have my philodendron ring of fire, but it's the narrow form. It's not looking all that like phenomenal right now, but it's such a unique shape that I had to have it. And I gotta figure out what to do with it. I've recently put some kiki paste on it in hopes to kind of fill this weird like bald area out, but nothing so far. Back here is another one of my Hoya ring scents. I actually came across this Hoya on accident, and then I loved it so much I went back and got another one. And one is the upstairs and one is the downstairs. Like, is it green with silver splash or is it silver with green splash at this point? Because that grow light is just really making this color pop. I also didn't really notice it until recently that the leaves are slightly textured as well. Like, they have kind of these green veins on them, but yeah, you guys, you really can't go wrong with this Hoya because they're so easy to care for. This is my Hoya pulchra that I pretty much check on every single day, you guys. I fell in love with this plant. I saw it on Instagram. Do I have any other new leaves? Nope. So I saw it on Instagram, and the way it was growing in the photo that I saw was like breathtaking, you guys. So I looked and looked for it. It was a little bit pricier than I kind of expected it to be honest, but I think it's going to be so worth it when I finally start getting those leaves that I obsessed over before getting it. This is that other clemenceorum that I was telling you guys about that I found just the other day. And I had, I got a full pot pretty much. So that was a plus. I love putting my trellis plants kind of in the back of this shelf to sort of serve as like a backdrop to my plants. So I kind of make a habit of putting like the trellises back there. Plus, otherwise it would like block everything that's in the front row. But anywho, so yeah, that's that back there. And not much to say about it. I haven't even had it a week yet. So we're just kind of waiting it out. Chances are it's just as slow as the black, but it's gorgeous, isn't it? And look at this weirdo. This is a Papilionanda, or Nanda for short, or Orchid if you want to be simple. And it has like these bluish flowers. I haven't actually seen them in person. This hasn't done anything in the like 9 or 10 months that I've had it. It's just, it's put out new leaves. But as far as like blooming, I haven't really gotten anything. I don't know if I'll get anything, but this is from Ecuagenera, and these are grown in like these hanging baskets where the roots just sprawl out everywhere. I wanted it a little bit neater. So I was like, I'm gonna put it in a pot. I don't know anything about orchids. I'm not gonna say I don't know anything, but I don't know a whole lot about orchids. I'm still learning a lot, but the roots like to be exposed. And if you don't have them exposed, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to expose themselves. So I learned that pretty early on, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the flowers on this. And now we're gonna move it down here to my philodendron deflexum, my one leaf in stratum philodendron deflexum that I admittedly overlooked for quite a while, but I saw a mature specimen that completely changed my perspective. And the massive like glossy paddle-shaped leaves were just incredible. Okay, and this Hoya I gotta pull out for you to see. So number one, I had this for about a year before it started doing anything, and it had this one leaf on it for that entire year. And then I don't even know when it started growing. I just remember looking at it just still with one leaf and thinking like, okay, I've had you a year and you still have this one leaf on you. What is going on? This is my latest leaf. You see, I keep going back to it because I cannot believe how big this leaf is. Like the length of, well, when it's not bent, it's like the length of my hand, if not longer. Seriously. Like it just came, this growth just came out of nowhere, it seems. And now I never actually spot, oh yes, finally. I was about to say I never actually spot the new leaves on him. I just see like that it's getting fuller and fuller, but it's got some new leaves coming in. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys. This is an anthurium that I don't know the name of. It's not a no ID, but it was like a crazy hybrid that I got from Chimera Tropicals a couple years ago, and it almost completely died. So I started it all the way over, and it pushed out new leaves, but it pushed out 3 new leaves all at once. So all of these are still, well, they're pretty hardened off now, but all of these new leaves all popped in at the same time. It was kind of crazy. I really wish I could remember what plant this was. I bet I could look at one of my older plant tours before it like died down and find the name of it. I've also got this little odonanthe, or was it codonanthe? I don't know. Anyway, it has these cute little, it kind of reminds me of the, not philodendron, Hoya serpens. But anyway, it's got these cute, fuzzy little button leaves that I love, y'all. And then it's got cute little white fairy flowers. It's adorable. My little variegated cactus that I got from grandma is putting out a lot. Like a lot is going on here. I don't know what to do with it, you guys, because I feel like it's gonna topple over if I don't do something quickly. And I love this plant, not just because it's from grandma, but it's so weird. Look how weird this is. You saw this in part 1, but I just moved this latifolia upstairs to give it more light. But I feel like there's a lot of space in between the leaves, and I think I'm going to cut this up and regrow it all together. I don't know yet though. The verdict is still kind of out on that. I have a gloriosum that I got from a big box store, not because I need another gloriosum at all, but one of the leaves had like this little sport variegation on it. Is that another one? Oh no, that's just leaf damage. So I had to get excited. So I ended up getting it, and then all the leaves with the little sport variegation died. And this is what I was stuck with. This is what I was left with. So I don't know, I'll keep it, and maybe somewhere down the line, it'll put out another variegated leaf. My silver syndapsis right here that I recently also kind of started anew with, and it's not really doing anything yet, but I don't know, we'll see soon. Along with my baby Pelea peperomioides, right here, I have a bigger one downstairs that I got from a friend that is growing significantly better than this one. I don't know why I won't just get rid of this. I really have to get better with getting rid of plants. And my philodendron strawberry shake was a massive chop and prop. I had one. I don't even know where the original one is in here, but then my mom gave me one, and I didn't really like the variegation on hers, on the one she gave me. I felt like I could do better, or I could get better variegation. Anyway, so I had like this really tiny one, and then this kind of skimp bigger one with like 2 or 3 leaves on it, but the leaves were like, you know, decently sized. So I decided I'm gonna put everything together. I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna make it my own and make it like full and lush. So that's kind of what I'm working on here. This is my philodendron whipaway, y'all. This was my #1 wish list plant a few years ago. I still can't believe I have it. I don't see a whole lot of people with it. I guess it kind of looks like the Jose Bruno down there. But it's very different, at least to me, like with these pink leaves, and there's way more of that cream and mint color than there is of the dark green on it. Look at how underneath the leaves are so pink, and then they end up staying pink for a little while, but then it just goes to like this light pink veining. I just think it's such a gorgeous plant when it gets massive. It's really pretty now, but once it starts to mature, then y'all are gonna understand what I've been talking about this entire time. My Anthurium pallidiflorum gaiusa is kind of going through a struggle streak right now. I don't know why. I think I'm overwatering it because I was very bad about underwatering it. So now I'm like overcompensating and overwatering it. But yeah, it put out inflow after inflow for a little while. Look at that from being too close to the grow light. Oops. So I collected a lot of pollen from it in hopes that I could maybe do some cross-pollination later on down the road. Y'all, I've been trying. Like, I'm in here. I think I'm Bill Nye the Science Guy in here, but yeah, I haven't had any luck with it so far. I think I should just go ahead and cut these off. What do y'all think? Like, let it go. Let it go. Oh, and I ended up repotting this Hoya. I feel like I talk about this one too much, so I'm not gonna stay on it too long. But yeah, remember how this leaf came out red? And it really did, but yep, it went on ahead and hardened off to green. It was sold to me as a microviolet red. There's still dispute about what this actually is. Doesn't it kind of look like a Sarawak now? I don't know. But yeah, I'm just learning to be happy with it how it is, and I am. I love how the leaves have this hammered metal look and these crazy veins. I was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't red, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, I still really love you. Like, you're still so gorgeous. This is another anthurium that I had to completely start over, and it's finally pushing out a new leaf. It's the Serenoi agupornis, whatever that is. I know I saw Serenoi and I was like, yep, sign me up. So I'm just waiting on that leaf to unfurl to see what it's really given, but I'm so excited. You guys, my anthuriums are growing so much. Look at this veitchii. I finally got a new leaf on it. Y'all, I've had this particular plant for 6 years, and I have 2 leaves on it. So that's everything on this shelf. But if I go over here, I have this begonia Variegated. It was really struggling in the light that I had it in. So I wanted it to have a decent amount of light to make sure it's vibrant and make sure it was lush and full. But then I noticed like the leaves are not looking as dark as I'm used to them looking. Like usually this green is like a dark, almost black green. And then it just makes these white polka dots. Oh my gosh. It just makes these white polka dots pop even more. So I moved it to a darker spot, and I think it'll be okay here, maybe, hopefully. But this begonia is one of my first wish list plants, like before they were common and stuff. I just remember seeing them and being like, oh my gosh, I want one so bad. And y'all, believe it or not, these were expensive and hard to find. Like, imagine a time. And this is my philodendron subhestatum. Well, half of it is mine. Like, this little portion down at the bottom is mine. The rest of this I got from grandma. Like, the better looking parts I got from her. Y'all, look at the back of the leaves. Oh my gosh. One of the best things about this plant is how it looks like someone took a colored pencil and just scribbled all over the back of the leaves. This baby looks good from every angle, like from the front, from the back. She is killing the game. So this plant you really cannot miss or ignore. Oh my gosh, this is my philodendron Shibarichii. And you guys, look how the leaf is like up against this cabinet. I have got to find a new place to put it, and it just won't stop growing. Seriously, like I put very little effort into this plant. There's leaves back here, and it is perfection. Everything you could ask for in, oh my gosh, in a pendant philodendron. I guess you could call this a pendant philodendron. Like the vein down the middle, the texture, it's easy to grow. It's fast growing. It's just so impressive, y'all. I got this from an Equagenera lifestyle and it just took off immediately. It had a little bout of spider mites at first, but it's gorgeous. Another micans right here that I kind of have growing on this mannequin. Wow, they're so black now. I don't think these do as well in brighter light, but also I desperately need to repot it. Like, I already know the roots are embarrassing. I have a Thai pink lipstick plant right here that it was growing all the way down this wall, but it was like bald at the bottom. So I cut it, I gave it a nice little haircut, and then the leaves started slightly yellowing, and then the new growth started coming out so tiny. So I don't know, I'm just kind of letting her do her thing and recuperate. This is the Hoya crassa petiolata splash. I want to say, yeah, because it's splashy. This is another one that is weird because it's right under this pendant light, and yet all I get is like tendrils. I got a tendril almost across the entire room at some point, but no leaves on it. So I cut those tendrils off. I know you're not supposed to, but I'm okay with this plant just staying like as is for now. I do have a little bit of new growth up here actually. So see, maybe cutting off the tendrils wasn't such a bad idea, but they were across the room. Like, it was ridiculous. I was just pulling and pulling, and it was like playing tug of war. This is a Hoya glabra. I have yet to figure out if this is something wrong with the plant or if that's just like the natural sun stressing of it. Every leaf looks like it belongs to a different plant. Like, all right, you have this kind of textured, wrinkled look going on right here, but then like this one is a little bit smoother, and then they're growing like wavy. I don't know. It's a weird Hoya for sure. I don't know if I like this, to be honest. I got it because I saw these massive leaves, and I love a big leaf Hoya, but this is just not growing neat, I guess. I don't know. I have a Hoya lacunosa that keeps on blooming, a crimson princess right here cutting that I have yet to give away. I need to. Like, why do I still have this? And then down here, I have my Syngonium frosted heart that I just recently repotted. That was on my plant chores video, if you guys want to check that out. I didn't have this trellis in it. I just put this trellis in it like a few days ago. And I feel like this would be a better situation for this beautiful plant, but it looks really good. It's looking good so far. And this is my Anthurium Boba Wednesday. It's so weird. Like, it's just a square or rectangle or an oval or a little mix of everything, but there's like no shape to this. And something about it is so funny to me. Like, it just looks so goofy. This is my Anthurium Capillospathum. This is the newest leaf, and look how it's like wrinkled because it's been kind of leaning against the shelf. So I gotta find somewhere new to put this. So here I just have 2 cabinets with a bunch of plants on top of them, and I've turned off these grow lights because they're just way too bright as I'm filming. Wait a minute, we'll come right back to this, but let's talk real quick about one of my favorite plant staples, the naked root planter. I use these for everything: cuttings, semi-hydro, and even regular soil setups. These make it so easy to track root growth, catch any issues early, and see exactly when it's time to water. It's honestly taken the guesswork out of plant care, and they look so clean and modern on a shelf. Y'all know I'm all about aesthetics, so I use them all over my space. They also come in a variety of colors, so if you want to try one, you can save 10% with my discount code Kayland10. I'll drop a link down in the description. My Monstera Tycon, this is a second one that I have. The one downstairs that I got from my grandma looks way better, but I had to basically restart this entire thing because it had root rot and the leaves were looking really sad and just awful. So I started it all over, and it has been growing very quickly since I started it over. I don't have any fenestrations or anything in them yet, but the leaves are just way healthier and happier, and I'm happier with it. Like, it just works out for everybody. My variegated wellfin, you guys, oh my gosh, look at the colors on here. I had to get this when I saw this at a plant swap. But whenever I see a wellfin, even though I already have some, like every single time I see one, I'm so tempted to get it again. So I don't know, it's just something about this singular leaf that just really has me in shambles. But yeah, the variegated one is definitely by far my favorite. My philodendron ernestii red. The red comes from the back of the leaves, which is so beautiful. So these leaves are pretty juvenile because this is another one that I started over. Nothing was wrong with it. It was more so like my ridiculousness to, I don't know, for things to be like aesthetically making sense. And it was just growing so wonky and so all over the place that I wanted to start it over and maybe perhaps try to tame it. But then I quickly learned that like this plant is gonna grow however it wants to, wherever it wants to, and I'm just gonna end up putting it in a rectangular pot and letting it grow how it wants to grow. This is my philodendron rugosum cross with the ruby juvenile. It has not really done much. I don't know. It's just not really impressing me. If it doesn't do anything here soon, then I think I'm gonna end up getting rid of it because it's just not doing it for me right now, but it's still pretty young, so kind of looks like a rugosum with red stems. My Hoya Bella has been quite the diva, you guys. So I bought this, lost the entire thing. Like, I don't know, it just dropped leaf after leaf after it arrived. And then I had to start it all over, and then it was struggling then. I guess these don't like to dry out, or maybe they do. I don't know. I still haven't figured out the exact formula for it, but I think that maybe we might be doing all right now because it's pushing out blooms and lots of new growth lately. So like, here's some new growth right there. So I don't know. I did notice the new growth and the blooms after I put it on this little trellis. So maybe that is the trick. I don't know. And this is my Hoya gracilis, but this was something that I got just because, and then eventually ended up really loving it. So yeah, I just repotted it. It's doing very well. It's always blooming for me. So I'm just gonna leave her there, leave her alone. She definitely needed a new pot though. This is some kind of like hybrid philodendron that I found recently in a big box store. And it looks like there may be some buggy activity going on. Yeah, so I probably need to treat this ASAP. So this is just a piece of it that I took from the mother plant. And the mother plant is just downstairs. Growing up this pole is my Snow Queen pothos. And you guys, putting this on a support stake is like the best thing I've ever done. The leaves just get so big and beautiful. I mean, they're already beautiful, but you get even more of that color once they have something to climb because the leaves are getting bigger. And I don't know, it's so impressive to me. Oh, you know what I did? I put some Kiki paste on here somewhere. I don't know the exact spots, but I do know I put Kiki paste on here so that it would kind of branch off and not just be this one long stem. So we're kind of still waiting on that. This is my Anthurium nigrolaminum, and I had it right in front of a grow light, but I really wanted that darkness to come out of it. It was on this shelf, so it was like right in front of a grow light. Now it's just getting some overhead light, which is still pretty bright, but not so intense. The nigrolaminum has these crazy pointed leaves that I love. You'll see more and more dark leaves coming up here soon. And on my channel and in this, even in this plant tour, you'll see more of them. I'm going through a dark leaf phase, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So this is my Anthurium oro verde, which is a crossed Anthurium. The first two leaves, you can see, like I had this too bright of light. And so I ended up moving it here and it pushed out this new leaf that is still kind of hardening off, but it's gorgeous. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love new Anthurium leaves. I'm hoping that this one is a little bit darker than the other two because I do love this Anthurium. I love how big the leaves are starting to get, so we're hopeful for that. And then my Anthurium clear nervium also was getting a little bit too much light. It was like a little bit too bright for me. Like the coloring was a little bit too bright for me, so I ended up moving this back and it pushed out this new leaf. Hi. Look at that perfect heart shape. All my Anthuriums are pushing out so much growth right now. This, for a long time, did nothing but flower. So this is the first leaf that I've gotten in months. This has a few of my Thai lipstick plant cuttings in it, and the leaves are looking like so not good. But then I pull it out and they have roots on them. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave you alone. This is another Anthurium that was getting way too bright, or I don't know, it just was not happy. This is my Anthurium crystallinum crossed with the Dresslery. And both of those are like, well, the crystallinum is not necessarily super dark, but yeah, this definitely needed a darker space. I just really wasn't feeling how these leaves were looking. I probably need to repot this one too. And then there's my Anthurium magnificum. I was like, oh my gosh, I have all these magnificum crossings, but I don't have a single magnificum. It went through a lot of stress, but it's starting to finally come back around. It's put out this new leaf, and it's significantly larger than the other ones on here. So I think she's good now. Like I think everything is coming together, and oh my gosh, we can't ignore this. It's so hard to ignore this leaf because it's like, oh, look how velvety and almost like blue-black it is. So this is my Anthurium regale. Okay, so I have a little problem. Look at that other leaf. So this is my regale, and then this back here is my Bessie, AFF, that is. So I feel like I need to label them because I get them really mixed up all the time. Like they're so similar, but anyway, yes, that's my Bessie. This is my regale. Both of them are so freaking beautiful. The Bessie AFF has been so sensitive to like too much light, so I have that one kind of hiding in the back. Oh, and then my Alocasia Maharani right here. Look at these leaves, look at that color. Like what in the world? It is so pretty. Oh, I got a yellow leaf down there. And then this is my Rosea cataphyllum. This is a very difficult plant. It's been just constant drama since I got it. And yeah, it loves spider mites, or spider mites love it, but it doesn't like to dry out. It doesn't like bright light. It doesn't like a lot of things. It seems like it doesn't like to live. Up here in this little picture frame, which I love these little framed plant thingy-majigs, but this is my Hoya Hutchkilliana pink. And y'all, this blooms so much for me. I don't know why I deserve it because I definitely forget to water this one, but she has been so healthy and so happy despite that. And so I really need to probably give her some water now. And honestly, I probably need to repot this plant. So that's basically everything up here. Before I get into what's in these cabinets, I want to tell you guys about a little hack that I'm sure I'm not the only person who knows about this, but it has been so helpful for me. So in the mornings, I just do this. I say, Alexa, turn on office.
Okay.
And all my grow lights come on. And I have it like on a timer. So if I'm out of town or just too lazy to come up here or whatever, these lights are all on timers. So starting up here is my Hoya sagillatus, and this is the Borneo one. It is a little bit wider, a little bit rounder, and the leaves kind of curl under a little bit. And y'all, I had this on a trellis, but I don't know, something about it just didn't look right on the trellis. I took a whole bunch of cuttings from it. So like you can kind of see here where it's still a little bit bald in between. I don't know, it just was not looking all that great. So I decided to do a whole bunch of chopping. A Hoya retusa that's in this little terracotta pot that makes it continuously dry out. So I need to put it in a different pot actually so it can do better. It just always looks bad, to me at least. And then this is a little cutting, the Hoya acicularis. And I love how skeletal these leaves look. That's what drew me to it in the first place. So I'm kind of blasting it with light right now to make that into its own little plant. I have this philodendron lupinum right here. This was also a cutting that I put into stratum, and this leaf is about to be gone, but it just put out these little button leaves ever since I cut it back. I kind of like it, but it's not what I want the lupinum for. So I need to figure something out with this one quickly too. My alocasia mellow corms are finally doing something. So I have these 2 new leaves and then one on the way. As you can see, you guys, I do so well with these jewel alocasias. This looks a lot like the Maharani, but darker. So I'm really excited for that. I'm doing a lot better with alocasias lately, maybe because it's the growing season. Like the winter time is when I really struggle with it. That's the most trying time for me. So I feel like that's the care that I really should be judging, not the springtime where nature's like helping me out. And this was a silver cloud, if it'll stop moving. You see how gorgeous these leaves are, you guys? And then I have a new one right here. I have never seen this plant looking like big and bushy unless there's several in one pot. The odds are that it just doesn't grow that big. Like when I say I haven't seen it looking big and bushy, I mean when I look it up, like all of the specimens of this are kind of small, like very few leaves. So I'm thinking that's just how it does, or maybe that just makes me feel better about the fact that I can't get more than 3 leaves on here. I don't know. This guy, I don't know what this is. So I keep looking it up. Well, I've tried to look it up numerous times. And I know that when it was sold to me, it just said like Monstera. And I'm like, are you though? Isn't it so pretty? Look how velvety these leaves are, and they're nicely corrugated. But yeah, I just don't know what it is. It looks kind of ugly from here up. So I'm thinking about like cutting all this off and propagating it, rooting it, and then putting it back in here. It's definitely one that thrives on having constant high humidity. So I keep it in this cabinet, and yeah, it needs to be watered as well. All these need to be watered, full disclaimer. Another Hoya back here that hasn't really, well, I shouldn't say it hasn't really done anything, but it's not really fully grown yet. It's still kind of a baby plant. This is the Hoya aldrichii. I got this because I loved how the sun-stressed leaves were looking. So I'm just kind of waiting on that. At least it's up on a trellis. My Syngonia mojito is finally coming around. I got this in like July of last year or August. It was very, very hot when I got it, and I left it in the mailbox too long. It was extra dead looking when I brought it in finally. So it took me all winter to get this to come back around, and finally it's starting to look how I want it to look and grow. This spot is calling my name. It wants to be cut so bad. So I think I'm gonna do that once this leaf is done unfurling, and then I'll put it on a trellis. And then look at this guy. How freaking cool is this, you guys? So this is a Chlorospatha napo. And I had never ever heard of this before until I saw it on Equigenera's live sale. And I was like, what? Yeah, let me get that. It had a little like weird flower on there. Forget the flower. Look how dark and gorgeous these leaves are. I can't find a lot of information on this. Apparently it's some kind of new discovery. Y'all know I love those botanists out there discovering these new plants. I can't wait for that to be me one day, but yeah. So beautiful, so dark. And then underneath is like this purple color. Such a moody little plant. My alocasia dragon tooth back here, that's finally starting to grow back now. So I'm on leaf number 3, y'all. Who knows? Maybe I'll get 4. Kind of looks like the alocasia poly. I don't know why I got this. I don't really do well with these type of alocasias, but this one is doing good so far. So let me not jinx it. And I forgot the name of this. I just had to repot it because it literally, while I was filming, fell over. And the name was on the little cup. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen, but this is such a diva. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little bit of green coming in on it. I got this because it was so dark. There we go. You can see it now. See that? I got it because it was so dark and like soft to the touch, but it lost so many leaves since I brought it home, and it has continuously struggled. So it was in such a small cup. I took it out that small cup, and hopefully that will like help it grow a little bit more, because I would forget to water it. And then behind here I have my Hoya incrustada. This was another one I kept forgetting to water, so I moved it up here where it won't dry out as often, where I moved it in this cabinet where it's not going to dry out as often. And I have a new leaf on here that's all green, so I'm gonna have to move it somewhere brighter, but I'm just not gonna do it right now. We'll see, we'll figure it out. My Endomid Adansonii right here, it isn't very minty right now, but that's okay. It will be. I'm just trying to get this to stabilize. Ever since I got it back in like September of last year, it just wasn't happy. It hasn't been happy. So I'm just trying to get it together before I start focusing on getting variegation on the leaves. Another Hoya up here that was going way too wild, and it's actually still really wild. I needed to move it somewhere where it just wasn't taking up as much space. Like it was literally growing into some of the other plants in the cabinet downstairs. So I was like, oh, I found a little stump of this plant in some used soil that I was about to like try to reuse. And there's a bunch of like plants in there. I guess I was propagating in it before. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is the Anthurium crystallinum, maybe, right? It's giving me crystallinum. Look how round the leaves are. This is one of my most prized plants. This is the Aglaonema Manila Pride. And look at the color of these leaves, you guys. Like, you cannot beat that. Look at this one. So yeah, I have it in here where it's so pretty. But yeah, I'm keeping it in here until it gets a little bit bigger. Then literally until it outgrows this cabinet, I'm gonna keep it in here. I'm waiting to stop losing leaves as often, and then once I get a hang of the care for it, then I'll be able to move it. These plants down here are just plants that need a little bit of help. And there's a heat mat. I have this Hoya Rostella hummingbird that literally looks the same as it did the day I got it. I have this Anthurium that I lost. I have a little piece coming in right there, but yeah, I lost this plant because I ordered it in February and forgot the heat pack for it. So yeah, that died. I'm lucky to even have this little stump left the way it was looking. So yeah, that's that. And then my Stephania erecta right here that is starting to grow back. I really need to take this out of here and put it on something. But look at the leaves. Look at the leaves on here, you guys. Like, yeah, I need to put this on something. I don't know what this is. I forgot. I should have labeled it, but it does have something coming in right there. So we're about to find out soon exactly what this is. My Hoya rotundiflora right here needs absolutely nothing. It's doing so good. Look at the fuzziness. These look like weird little ancient stones, don't they? I guess it's safe to say it's happy and healthy. My string of dolphins right there. Oh, this looks really sad. I almost didn't want to show y'all, but it really belongs outside. I just kind of put it in here for the summer, or I'm sorry, for the winter. I put it in here, and it's about time for this to go back outside because it's taking up space and it's bad vibes. This is one of my crazy anthuriums. So this is a Cutaquince, and it has like these crazy tri-lobed leaves. I'll show you a mature form of it. But it was just a small little baby, and then that little baby almost died. I was able to bring it back a little bit. This is the original stump right there that I believe is actually dead. And then the little piece that I took off of the top of it is starting to grow back. So stay tuned for that. I feel like it's gonna be all right eventually. This is the Hoya sabal that has also not really done much of anything except for grow new tendril. So I cut this one and I propagated this one too. And look at that, like I want this to get bigger so bad. I'm so pressed on it. But the cuttings that I took from it are actually doing better than this and growing more than this one. So we might be okay. I have a string of, I think this is called a string of rubies. I got this from my mom. Hers is so pretty, you guys. It's like extremely full and long and like it has this magnificent ruby color to it. My little cutting here is not really given. This is my Hoya incrusata right there. Look how it's like hugging this pot. The idea was to have it flat up against the moss pole, but it didn't do that. It did not that. I need to take it out of here and revamp it and like kind of revive it and neaten things up. So that's something that is on my to-do list as well. And that's just kind of everything down here. And these plants kind of rotate out as needed. Like once I'm like, okay, you're good, you're ready to be in general population, then I move them out of here. This is my second cabinet and a little bit of extra care and love. So this is my Hoya sagillatus, but this is the last river. And these look like little river stones to me. That's kind of how I memorized the name for it, but yeah, it's doing so good now. It took a long time to even grow this little bit of leaves. This has been kind of a difficult plant for me. So I'm really thrilled that it's doing as well as it's doing and sun stressing and growing. The boys picked out this weird cactus and I was really hesitant about it at first. The last time I pricked my finger on a cactus like this, it literally was hurting for like a month, seriously. But I cannot pass up the variegation on here. Like the boys just keep coming to check on it. They want to water it like every day. Relax, it's a cactus, relax. A Hoya endowensis right here. This was a really full plant that got frostbitten. I was really upset. I love these wavy leaves. But anyway, at a plant swap, I was telling someone about it and she was like, here, and gave me this little cutting. And I was like, thank you so much. This is just a little rhaphidophora right here, tetrasperma. I need to take this out of here. It's just a space taker upper now, but I only got this because it was variegated. It had like some sport variegation on it when I saw it at Walmart. And yeah, I since lost that variegated leaf. So I don't know if I really need to keep this, but I still keep trying. These are cuttings from that Hoya sabal I was telling y'all about. And see how well this one's growing? Like a whole bunch of new growth, some sun stressing. So I don't know why the mama won't get it together because this one's doing quite well. Some alocasia green shield corms right there that I also found in dirt the other day. And I just assumed that they were green shield corms because I remember that's what was in the pot. But honestly, I don't know for sure. And then I have a Syngonium pink splash, the Thai form. The leaves are supposed to be super dark on here. I don't know if I'm giving them too much light or if it's just super juvenile. But either way, I love this so much. Look at those pink dots on here. I need to repot it. I actually needed to repot it a long time ago. So I feel like I'm gonna be busy all summer long, y'all. A Hoya RB Dick that recently flowered. And I had never heard of the RB Dick before. I was like, what a name, but okay. It looks like a green apple. I don't remember even where I got this. Like, y'all, these plants just be popping up. But I'm just propagating this one. Look at this SP Philippines Hoya. So pretty. Look how nice this sun stressing. I need to put it on a trellis. I finally put it in a pot. It was in like a yogurt cup and stratum for the longest. So now that I put it in a pot, I'm just waiting for it to kind of like adjust to the new pot life. And then I'm gonna put a trellis in it and find somewhere else for it to go. My Hoya erythrina, ugh, so gorgeous. I'm trying not to keep talking about this one because this is another Hoya that I talk about a lot. And it's only got 3 leaves on it, so it's not like I can say a whole lot about it, but I mean, doesn't that look like a butterfly wing? I have a Hoya hypolacia right here with 2 little leaves on it. If you saw this a couple months ago, you would understand why those 2 leaves are a big deal. A Hoya vitillinoides, I believe it's called. Yeah, this is gonna be top tier. we're just kind of waiting. I mean, I got a little tendril, so that has to count for something. So this is sold to me as a pink flamingo. Everybody always wants to tussle and tells me it's just a crimson queen, but it looks more textured than my crimson queen. And honestly, it's more pink. So it's some kind of hybrid of the Carnosa, but yeah, it's so beautiful, you guys. Forget what the name of it is. Like, look at all this fuchsia in here. Oh, so pretty. I have some random cuttings in this little ceramic leopard or cheetah, whatever. I always get those mixed up, but yeah, I have that in there. And then moving down, up here, I just have my Polynera Brogée. It flowered for me one time recently and I lost my mind. And I have just been chasing that dragon ever since. These two pieces right here are actually pieces that I recently propagated and they've been growing pretty nicely. I did lose one. I had a third one right here and I lost it, but it's doing okay. I was just kind of tired of this one stem like hanging out. And this Hoya I got at a plant swap recently, and obviously it still has a label on it, but the writing actually rinsed off of it, you see? And so now I don't know what this is. But anyway, it's not like a common one, like it's not a Carnosa. I just know that it had a name that I had never heard before. So if you know what this is, I know it only has 2 leaves, but if you know what this is, let me know down below. Please and thank you. This is my Hoya Undulata Red. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll never forget the name of this guy. He actually needs some water. But look how weird and crusty these leaves are. Like, this is one of my favorite Hoyas. I know it's so crazy looking, but look how roughly, like, this reminds me of a piece of kale. Or maybe I'm hungry, but it does, it really does. So yeah, love the Undulata Red. I feel like it's not for everybody, but it's definitely for me. And this sad story is my philodendron rugosa. I repotted it and I cut it, chopped it up, took it straight to the chop shop, y'all. So I expected a little bit of drama afterwards, but look at this. Like, have you ever seen this before? It's like a blister. And I feel like that's what this was too. Like, doesn't this look like it was blistered like that? I have never in my life seen a plant do this. Another begonia that I'm keeping alive. I think it looks great right now. And then my Anthurium silver that I just repotted and put up on this pole. I finally decided to stop neglecting that one. Same thing with my Monstera dubia right here. This is a cutting that I took from my mom. I have another one with way smaller leaves, a lot more of them, but a lot smaller. I've just kind of neglected it, so I think I'm gonna end up getting rid of that one. I just wanted kind of a fresh start. My philodendron angel back here that I feel like now that I'm paying closer attention to it, it'll come back around. This anthurium was my mom's, but she was like, I don't know what to do with it anymore. She was just really struggling with it. And I was like, oh, please don't even worry. I will take it off your hands. I cut all the crispy leaves off and this is the leaf that I put out after that. And I'm very happy with it. I don't know if this is the papillolaminum or the Dresslery, but I'm pretty sure it's the papillolaminum. I recently found this alocasia aslanii at a big box store and I kind of couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, are we putting these out now? But yeah, I kind of got it. It'll be dead in a week. I'm just kidding. I've had it for about 6 weeks and it's still growing. Nothing has died yet. So I think we're on the up and up. This anthurium is a hybrid. It's the Regale crossed with the Necrolaminum. And I'm so excited to have 2 dark parents because I know it's gonna have like the prettiest, darkest leaves. It already does. I'm also hiding another papillolamina back here. This one is in pond. I don't know why I have so many of them. Like, where do they come from? And then this baby is some kind of Bessay crossing that I got from the Equigenera live cell, but I'm not really sure. I know that there's Bessay in there, but I don't know who the other parent is. And then I have this weird Piper right here that is not really hitting on much right now, so we're just not gonna talk about that one. So now it's just this side that we have to do. There's a lot, there's a lot of plants just concentrated in this little corner here. So I'm gonna actually start over here with this philodendron Florida green. I've had this philodendron for so long, for years, and some of the leaves are super mature now, which I love, but it's also getting really full because I've propagated it so many times, and like you can see all the new growth on it. Like the newer growth is kind of this bright green color, and then the older ones kind of are a little bit darker. So I love how that looks like as a mix of everything, but it's starting to get a little bit too full, I think, at the bottom. So you can see like where I kind of chopped it down here. And so everything's kind of growing back. So I'll root everything and then put it back in the pot. And some of the pieces I actually do end up giving away, but I love how the mature leaves look on here. So I don't think I'm going to propagate it anymore, but it has outgrown this moss pole a million times. Look how dry this is. Like, that's sad. But it has outgrown it a million times. I feel like now I'm just going to focus on like the leaves maturing instead of it getting bushier, because I feel like it's super full now. But we do have so much new growth coming in on it. Like right there, there's a bunch of new leaves down in there. So I feel like it's gonna have a really good summer. And I also have it right up under a window, so that really contributes to a lot of the growth on this. But I do need to focus on watering it because it does get spider mites sometimes if I don't stay on top of it, but I've been doing really well with it lately. And this is actually my Florida Ghost. I moved it to a darker area because it was getting a little bit too ghostly for my taste, but now it's getting a little bit too green. So I feel like I need to move it in a spot that's a good mix of where I had it before and where I have it now, and we'll be good to go. But it's doing okay up there for right now, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Coming down here, this is my manjula pothos that used to be so happy and healthy, and lately it's just taken like such a massive downfall, and I don't really know why. I'm pretty sure it needs to be repotted, and I'm also pretty sure there's like some pest issues going on, but now the new leaves are just growing in so wonky and like dumb. I don't know, I need to really take it out and examine the roots and like just do a nice little revamp to it and freshen it up, and I'm sure it'll be fine. This was a cutting that I got from my mom, who got it as a cutting from my grandma. Y'all see how this works? You guys are starting to see now, if you haven't already, how the plant addiction works in my family. It's just getting passed down. But I think this is a Queen of the Night, if I'm not mistaken. But it has just, like, it pushes out these little skinny leaves, and I don't know if they just get wider or what, but it needs some water right now. I'm sure it would look a lot better than it does now if I stayed on top of the watering, but yep, that's what we have so far. Oh, and I meant to mention that I keep mirrors right here because this was kind of a darker area. So these plants get the benefit from the mirror, and then the ones back on this wall kind of get a little bit of extra light. It really does help increase the lighting when I put mirrors somewhere. So I try to place them strategically where light can bounce off of them and I can really benefit from it. But yeah, that's what the mirrors are about. And then I have my cute little monkey tail cactus right here that did just used to be like 1 or 2 pieces, but it's pushing out a bunch of babies. I can't wait for it to be massive like the ones that I see in some of the nurseries for a gazillion dollars. But it's really cute even when it's in like a smaller pot. I think it still looks really cool. I'm so mad I really have this here like it needs sunlight, but you guys, I have been so obsessed with these little Lego sets lately, like the botanical Lego sets. They really just help my anxiety, like when my OCD is kicking in, or just when I feel myself about to have a panic attack, I will do my little Lego set and it works out. Like, it gives my hands something to do, it gives me something to focus on. So yeah, they're really helpful. And then here's my Hoya icensis, and I cannot believe how gorgeous this is. Like, first of all, look at these flowers. Like, this is a Hoya that is near and dear to me. It's always blooming any given Wednesday during the spring and summer now. Oh my gosh, they look like little shooting stars. Look at the little water droplets on them. It's so cute. I know the last 2 years that I've had this, I've been like, where are the blooms on here? And now it doesn't even give me leaves now. It's just only flowering, which I absolutely love because I feel like I have enough leaves on here and they're perfect. Like, look how green and textured they are. They're so pretty. And down here is my philodendron Billy that I was telling you guys about. You saw it, one of them in my son's room, but we have come such a long way. This is another one that I grew from just a little itty bitty seedling. So it has just really matured so nicely, and I'm starting to get like those nice and long narrow leaves that I love so much. So I feel like now that the growing season is in full effect, I'm going to, like, this year is going to be the year that I finally have the philodendron billet that I have dreamed about. So I'm so excited about that. And then there's my lentii that has been growing super slowly for me since I got it. And I don't mind that because it's kind of a big boy. But I love these wide leaves, and I love that it has like these ruffles on it, but there's not a whole lot of information that I can find about the lentii even now. So I really wish more people had it, but I don't understand why they don't. I feel like it's an underrated plant. In fact, I feel like I've had it on an underrated plant video before. What's everybody's beef with the lentii, y'all? What's going on? I also have a campii that's not as forgiving as the lentii when it comes to missing a watering. I know someone was recently asking me about a campii and where I got it. Really, it was kind of an anomaly to have found it. It was the only one there at the time. But y'all, I've been seeing these. I've seen them twice, once in Target recently and once in Walmart. So if you are someone that was wanting a campii, then they're coming out, y'all. They're making their way on out. My Hoya Variegated is growing a lot recently, and I love how the leaves sun stress. I have like this dark margin. I think it gives it a really cool like depth effect. But these tendrils are all new. Everything here is like all new growth. It's been doing a whole lot this spring. So look at the new leaves coming in on here. So I'm so excited, you guys. Look at this guy. Where are you going? And this is one of my little mistletoe cacti up here that was struggling. I used to have it on my stairs, but I recently moved it because it wasn't happy there. It wasn't getting enough light. So I feel like now here it'll be a lot happier. And plus my humidifiers right here, so it'll get the humidity that it was craving. So we'll see. Down here on the floor, this is usually like receiving really decent lighting. So I put these 3 anthurium right here because I wanted them, they were growing a little crazy and I wanted them all to face one direction. This is a newer one right here. This is my Anthurium lentii equigenera. It did have a nice size leaf on it, but it didn't do well in shipping, so I had to cut it off. And then I have a subsignatum right here that I think was getting damaged from maybe my water. I don't know, but I know that ever since I started watering it with tap water, it started doing this. So I'm not sure, but I do have a new leaf. I stopped watering it with tap water and I have a new leaf right there. And this one seems to be doing okay, but that's another one that was growing crazy. So I moved it here. And then this is a Warwickwanum crossed with the Magnificum that also has like a bunch of those weird spots on it. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. I know I want to put this in a new pot. Like I tried to put this little ball around it, like I'm air layering, but honestly it just needs a deeper pot. I know like with this one, this is my Anthurium crotii, and I know that ever since I buried it deeper in the pot and put it in a bigger pot, it has done so much better. Like I could not get a happy, healthy leaf on here to save my life. And not only is this beautiful one thriving, or this beautiful 5 leaves, not only are they thriving, but I have another one coming in right there. So that's great news. And it's just doing so much better now that I have it in a bigger and better pot. So that seems to be the secret with all my Anthurium. I'm going to be putting this one in a bigger pot sometime this weekend, actually, especially if I wanted to get those long Warwickwanum leaves. It's definitely going to need another pot. I just pothos in between a bunch of drama queens, but this one is totally drama free. Love the colors on here. I love the Jacinia pothos. I recently found this at a big box store, a big old pot of them. And so I divided it into like a bunch of separate plants. And this one is my favorite because it's climbing. And I'm really looking forward to like getting those massive leaves on here and really starting to see that color pop out a little bit more. This was my grandma's epiprimnum. I put it right here until I can figure out what to do with it. At this point, I might as well just leave it here and let it trail. I'm still not absolutely sold on letting it trail. I just didn't want anything to happen to it. Same thing with this tortum. I think it's a tortum. I have a definite tortum in my kids' room, but this one was in grandma's collection and I don't know what this one is. Someone said that it looks like a more mature tortum, and that honestly makes the most sense, but I'm just not 100% sure yet. So, and then my OG Hoya right here. This is a tricolor, or I think this is a Crimson Princess. It's one of my oldest Hoyas. So yeah, definitely a keeper. My philodendron Jungle Boogie is growing very nicely. The larger part of this plant is grandma's that I adopted after she died, and so like I still get to have a piece of her. So I ended up putting mine and hers together. Mine is in the back looking kind of pitiful, like in this area. And it just looks so good. Look how narrow and perfect this leaf is. Like, oh, I love this so much. I'm waiting on this one to finish growing so I can see what it's gonna do. But these are perfect leaves, like perfect little leaves, perfect not so little leaves actually. My philodendron Campo back here that I took a piece of, that's just a cutting of it. And then I have another Jacinia Pothos that very likely needs to be watered. So I just have that one trailing in the background. And y'all, my Baltic Blue Pothos, I neglected it for years, like literally years. It's been neglected. So I just took it out of the back of one of my shelves and started caring for it. I'm gonna try to bring it back to life and see if I can fall in love with it again. But remember when these were a big deal? They're still beautiful. They're still really beautiful. Look how dark blue the leaves are. So I don't know why I was sleeping on this. I feel like I just got other plants that kind of took the spotlight, but it's okay. We're back. We're back in action, y'all. Then I have my Lacunosa, always blooming, always a pleasure. And it has such sweet little white fuzzy blooms. My Linearis, however, not so much so. Like this is all that's left of it. And I had to totally uproot it, repot it, kind of start it over. And at this point, I'm about to just go get a new one. I'm about to just go get a full one because I'm done trying with this one. It doesn't like me. And the Linearis is pretty much an easy plant. So I don't know why this one has been giving me such a hard time. Some Hartley philodendron cuttings right here. And this vessel is totally empty now. So it's time to do something with that. This is my Syngonium Mickey right here in the back on a trellis. I recently repotted it, so it's trying to come back around. I kept forgetting to water it too, so I put it in a bigger pot so that it would retain moisture a little bit better. And I put a little bit of sphagnum moss in there too. Same thing with my Jose Bruno. I recently took this up to water it, and it was just all roots. There was basically no dirt in that pot. So I repotted it, and I was like, why is it going downhill? Well, because there's no soil in the pot at this point. So now it's looking a whole lot better. It wasn't looking awful, but I was like, you're just not being yourself, like your usual vibrant, beautiful, fast-growing self. And now he's back. He's coming back around, pushing out new growth after new growth. Like, look at one of those newest leaves. Like, these are beautiful. I want this plant to grow all the way up to my ceiling, and I want the leaves to be massive. So that's kind of what I'm working on. But oh my goodness, you guys, we're so close. And this plant with all the drama is my philodendron bicolor. Look at the back of the leaves, you guys. Like, what? You weren't expecting that, were you? Well, if you know the bicolor, you were expecting it. But oh my gosh, these theatrical leaves are incredible. Look how blue this one is. So I wasn't sure we were gonna make it at first. I thought that this plant was a goner. I put it in some stratum and took a few cuttings from it, and it's coming around now. So I'm just gonna leave it alone and keep doing what I'm doing because I am getting some new growth. So I'm doing something right here and I don't wanna mess that up. And then moving up, we have my Monstera Peru. You guys saw this on a recent video where I ended up putting some Kiki paste on here, and I don't have any new growth from that just yet, but it usually takes a while, so I wasn't really expecting any yet. But these leaves look like little turtle shells or big turtle shells, and I really want to fill this pot out. Like, I really want this part to be fuller, so I'm just desperately working on that right now. But it is pushing out a lot of new growth lately. So is this philodendron. So I'd never really heard of this one until recently. Well, I still haven't heard it. I just bought it, but I still haven't seen like anyone else with it really. This is a philodendron Pteromecium Oriana, and it just grows in this weird like shingling way that I absolutely adore. So I've just been really excited to grow this one. It's kind of facing sideways. So anyway, so I'm just really excited to get this one going and growing. It's doing really well so far. It's been so easy, y'all, to care for. It shipped really well. It was about yay high when I got it. So yeah, all of this up here is kind of new growth and it's pushing out another new leaf. So I would love to learn more about it. So if anybody else has it, let me know. The leaves are really lively, like they're very something. I just can't quite put my finger on how to describe it, but the camera doesn't really do it any justice. It's such an incredible, easy plant. But yeah, that's that. And then, oh my goodness, y'all, let me pull this out so you can see it. This Anthurium peltagerum is so pretty. Look at the newest leaf on here. The leaves are so matte. And I want to see how big this is going to get, but the fact that these are like these just circular, closed sinus, crazy looking leaves is, I don't know, it looks like some kind of animal that's prehistoric, to me at least. And I just love it so much. I'm really happy to be growing it and just to have it in my collection because I don't have anything else that even looks like this at all. So yeah, it's definitely very, very different. Then there's my Monstera pangui. I love how these leaves like kind of have this whirl shape, like this curviness at the end of them. I love that. It looks like, you know, the little shapes on a bandana. It looks like one of those. But anyway, a very rich green color. It almost looks silver at a distance, and I recently propagated it and just put it right back into the soil, and I had no issues from it. So it's been a super easy monstera lately, and I'm very appreciative of that because a lot of my monsteras are not as easy to care for. I have a Hoya Fichii back here. I'm really surprised that this is as sun-stressed as it is, just kind of being back behind a few of these other plants. But it's been doing very well lately. Recently repotted it and put a trellis on it. So I'm just kind of waiting for that trellis to fill out. And then this Monstera dubia, this is what I was telling y'all about. I'm like so over it at this point. At this point, I don't know if I'm even gonna keep it or like try to untangle it and save it, but it will never do right. It has never done right, and I'm tired. When there's so many other plants doing right and you can't get it together, you're the problem, not me. I'm just kidding. I'm definitely the problem. This has needed to be repotted for so long. And then my Syngonium, I want to say this is either the Three Kings or the Godzilla. I love how these leaves kind of cup upward. That's really cool, but I do have some yellowing from the repot, which is fine and expected. So I'm just waiting on him to come around. Syngoniums are very forgiving in my care. Unlike the Monstera obliqua, like this plant has really given me a run for my money. I've had this for so long. It should be massive by now, but it always puts out runners, and then I lose leaves every single time I water it. Like, I'm surprised there's no yellowing. I'm surprised there's not like a completely yellow leaf on here right now. It just continuously gives me problems. I don't know what else this guy wants. Like, I put slow release fertilizer in it. I don't know. The runners were a problem for a long time. I just kept cutting them off. Now I'm starting to finally get like some actual leaves on it. And yeah, I have it kind of right in front of a grow light, so it's really weird that it keeps giving me runners, but we'll see how it does over the summer. I have a Splendid, Always So Happy, never really giving me any issues. This is a propagation from the bigger one that I have downstairs, and I had like 6 propagations of this. I finally started giving them away, and I just kept this one because it was like small and cute, and that small and cute is not gonna last long because these grow so quickly in my care. A little Ripsalis that is so pitiful, you guys, so sad. I wanted to do better so bad. Like, I want this to get full. I'm desperately trying to make it fuller and bigger, but I've had this for 2 years and this is the only thing I have. Maybe sometime soon. This also has been like one that I've notoriously neglected, so now that I'm giving it more care and more light and more water, it'll probably do better. My Gigantium here, you guys, at first the leaves were like green. I had a lot of green on the leaves, and now it's just mostly white leaves from all the sunlight it's getting, which I love, love, love so much. I still have enough green on it for me not to worry about this leaf dying off, but yeah, what a crazy looking plant, isn't it? One of the plants I'm most excited to grow this spring is my Anthurium Winlandii, because I mean, do I need to say anything else? Look at this guy. And then I have a new leaf growing in on it. And you guys, the inflows on here are like spiraled. Oh, it's so cool. It has been another one of those slow growing plants that I have. Look how dark the leaves are. So each new leaf is such a win for me, and this is such a decent size. I'm just really curious to see what the next one's gonna look like. I had it up here before, but I wanted some light to like shine directly down on it. So this was a real good spot for it, and it's working out. So fingers crossed for this, you guys. I need to actually water it. I probably should put it in a new pot. I'm so obsessed with this. The peperomia hope is such a cutie pie. I honestly can't believe that I've kept it alive as long as I have, but it seems that the secret to keeping these alive is to leave them alone. So that's what I've been doing, and that has been working out. And then there's a Hoya pubicalix up here. My sister asked me for this. I should have gave it to her because I neglected so much, and it needs to be repotted so bad. But now that I'm seeing new growth on it, I'm like, maybe I want to keep you. I love how the new growth is coming in. This is a philodendron postazanum silver cloud. It's only just this one leaf on it because I had to start it over. It was really bad. It was so infested with spider mites. The humidity was an issue. Like, it was just in bad shape. It needed to be started over. And then look at this Hoya right here. The Tingamus. It has such nice size foliage. I'm so excited for it to fill out this entire trellis, but it has not really done anything for a really long time. It pushed out 2 new leaves, and I thought, okay, we're on the roll, but then it just kind of stopped. So I don't know what's going on with this guy, but as long as I keep him watered and keep giving him enough light, he'll come around eventually when he feels like it. Also, I'm so thrilled with how my alocasia black velvet has been looking lately. Like, these leaves are getting so massive and so dark. You guys, look at this newest one. It is, yeah, it's so big. So I also have like some babies. Oh, and then there's another new leaf coming in. So much growth. I also have some babies, and then another one right there. So this plant is going crazy, y'all. Ever since I put the slow release fertilizer in here, it has really taken off. Now that I'm really looking at it, I have a bunch of growth like right there, right there. Oh, it's doing so good, you guys. And my Anthurium Ivan Portia, I forgot what the cross is. I'll have it on the screen though. It has very, very long stems, and it was really taking up a lot of space in the cabinet, and then it started touching the grow light. You can see a little bit of the damage right there. So I had to move it up here, and hopefully it does a lot better up here. Same thing with my Decipiens. I feel like I'm gonna take this down from here because I forget to water it up here. And you guys, oh, when I saw the mature form of this, I was like, oh my goodness. I'm not a major fan of these super long stems when the leaf size doesn't really like justify the long stem, you know what I mean? But I feel like when it starts getting those bigger leaves, it'll be fine. This one hasn't really started pushing out new growth yet. I feel like I probably should just take it down from there, but I also haven't really had it long enough. We'll see, we'll see. This was a weird philodendron that I got from Equigenere's pop-up. Not pop-up, I think I got it from a lifestyle, not a pop-up. But yeah, it was something that I had never heard of. It was like a pingy something. I've had this for a long time, and it just hasn't done anything. It just, to me, it looks like a heart leaf philodendron, honestly, with like maybe thicker leaves, but it's not, it doesn't really impress me that much. I'm still kind of waiting on the eureka moment. It hasn't happened yet, and I just remember when I got it and I researched it, I couldn't find a whole lot of information on it. Time will tell, and then I can come back and like either eat my words or lean into them. I don't know. And I don't know why this guy took such a hard fall, but this is my philodendron red heart, and it is such a pretty plant, y'all. Like, it was so happy and healthy, and then suddenly it just like started doing this, and I just started dropping leaves, and then now the new leaves are coming in kind of crazy. So I put some kiki paste on it, maybe in hopes to revive it. And if that doesn't work, then I'm just gonna like chop everything from here on up off And I'm gonna restart it. I feel like it probably needs a new pot. It does have a baby growing off of it, so it probably needs to be repotted, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And then this is my Hoya Australis Lisa up here that was going a little too crazy down on the shelf where I had it before. So I moved it up here so you can have all that energy up here. I got this philodendron from my mom and we still don't know what it is. It kind of looks like my Lavinia that I have downstairs, but not quite like it. It probably is that, come to think about it, but I know it's some kind of hybrid. It just wasn't, it has a really cool leaf, but it still isn't doing all that great. Like the coloring of the leaves is just given sad and unhappy and overwatered. But it does have a new leaf coming in. So I feel like maybe then, whatever this is crossed with has like red in it. You see that? So I feel like maybe this new leaf will be a little bit more promising and like give me a little bit more information on what the cross is, but it's kind of hard to tell right now. It's still a cool plant though. Up here is my philodendron Pink Glory, and it has so many leaves. And this is also a crawling plant. So I need to put it in a crawling planter so the leaves can get bigger. Like you can see here, oh, they're starting to get a little bit small, still pretty. But yeah, I need to put this in a crawling planter and let it reach its fullest potential. I just don't really have anywhere to put it. Crawling plants just take up so much space, but it's so worth it. Also, here's an urn plant that I got from my mom, and it took a while to grow on me, but I kind of love it now. Hers is so big, y'all, and it had this big, giant pink flower on it. After I saw that big old flower on it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to take care of mine. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do. It kind of like hangs over the shelf a little bit. It's a really cool plant, really odd. And are these leaves or flowers on here? I don't know. But anyway, this is a little parallel peperomia. It does okay. I mean, I don't really like how it's growing right now, but it's still a cute plant. I need to revamp this one as well. And I have this Anthurium spectable hanging right here. These leaves get massive, y'all, like the size of a grown man. But I don't really hold out a lot of hope that it's gonna get that size in my house. It's just a really cool looking pendant Anthurium. I have a Monstera siltepecana that from a distance looks like really lush and full, but then when you get up on it, like especially back behind here, I hit it. But look how bald it is down there. I honestly need to cut this up and start it all over so that it'll crawl or so that it'll climb. Right now it is so unruly and just tangled up, like it's just a hot mess, honestly. And here is my Anthurium Sparkling River. Like this leaf is okay right there, but these two were getting way too much sunlight or get way too much light from my grow light. So I moved it to this darker area and it's pushing out this new beautiful leaf. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully that leaf will be darker, or if not the next one. But yeah, it definitely needed to be moved to a darker spot. I also have another Anthurium right here that was getting too much light. This is my Variegated, struggling bad. And then it also has a new leaf coming in on it. So I'm hoping that now that I've moved it to a darker, like less warm area, just more shaded or whatever, I feel like the next one will be a little bit better. Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. Also, my Hoya elliptica took a massive hit recently because I forgot to water it for so long. I had totally forgotten this plant was here. And when I looked, like the only thing that reminded me is that leaves were on the floor and it was like so brown and wilted. And it takes a really long time for a Hoya to get wilted, I think. So I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, I gave it some water ASAP and it started pushing out some new growth. Like I still have new growth on here, so it's doing better. But yeah, I did lose a lot of it due to underwatering. This jumbo plant is my Philodendron gloriosum crossed with the Esplendii, and the pot is way back here, y'all. Like I put it in this circular planter, like this longer planter, so that it could crawl. It's kind of crawling out of the pot at this point, but these plants do, when you put a crawling plant in a crawling pot, they do just so much better. They get so much bigger. So that's why I put this Plowmanii in a crawling pot recently, because my mom has the biggest leaves on her plumanii, and I was like, what is the difference? And she has hers in a crawling pot. So yeah, I was like, okay, say less. And I also have right here, this is some kind of aglaonema, and look how beautiful the variegation is on this. So yeah, it's an aglaonema that I found in a big box store, but the leaves keep growing like tiny. I'm thinking there's a bunch of plants in here. Like there's definitely a bunch of plants in here, and I need to separate them, and that will kind of help the leaves like size up a little bit. But yeah, I don't know which aglaonema it is. I just know it's so pretty. So that's also on my to-do list. When I say a to-do list, y'all, I literally have like a written list of things to do. Some propagations of my neon pothos. Also on my to-do list is to get this ZZ Raven like out of this pot and into something more cohesive for this growth. I mean, look how dark and pretty these leaves are. So yeah, my ZZ Raven has been with me for so long. I feel like it deserves such better treatment than what I've been giving it lately. Look how sprawled out and crazy it's looking. Also, like I said on my to-do list, my mayoi back here needs a way bigger pot. I'm so tired of fighting with this trellis, and like I can't propagate it anymore. It's gonna be like my Florida and be so full. But yeah, I got a lot of new growth on here. You can tell this is a piece that like I chopped and propped, but then you have like bigger leaves like this one that are more mature. So I just need to go ahead and get this in a bigger pot and find a new home for it. That's the reason I haven't repotted it yet, is because I'm like, where am I gonna put you after I repot you? And plus it looks kind of cool back there. Also, here's my mother philodendron campo that is starting to finally come around after I repotted it and put it up on this pole, but it's still looking like kind of sad elsewhere. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that too, but it's growing, so I just left it alone. Another pallidiflorum right here. This is like the third one that I have in my home. I don't know why I kept getting these. Back in my pendant anthurium phase, I'm still in the pendant anthurium phase, honestly. I don't think I'll ever leave it, but yeah, that one recently took a hit as well, and I need to repot that. I'm not a big fan of snake plants unless it's a wellfin, but this one, I don't know, it just kind of caught my eye in a grocery store one day, and I thought it looked perfect in this planter. So yeah, they've been best friends ever since. This micans, I swear you guys, you have no idea how much I cut this micans, and it just thrives. Like it does so well right here. The micans does so good when I don't have it in direct or like even indirect. When I put it in a low light spot, they thrive and they look so good. Like look how dark that is. And the same thing for my Brazil. You would think that these need bright light, but in this darker area is when they really pop so much. So yeah, I love this little shelf. I love these plants on this little shelf. And eventually I want to not be able to see the shelf at all, but I do like to cut it right here so that it's not like covering up my light switch. So I think this needs another haircut, but this plant, this micans is the reason why I have so many micans all over the house, because I constantly have to cut it. This philodendron micans doesn't look as good as the other one in my opinion. I put it on this pole so that it would maybe size up, but it just got fuller. It does look all right. It looks pretty cool, but the leaves never got bigger, so it was kind of pointless. I just don't have the heart to do anything with it or dismantle it, so there it shall stay. Then there's this very, very vibrant neon pothos that I can't get enough of. I don't even know how long I've had it, but you guys, I love when I see like new leaves come in and they have like that darker green spot like that right there. Or where's another one? Like this one. I don't know, it's just such a special little treat for me. I'm always gonna get like a little happy boost whenever I see this. Then there are a few plants in my kids' room. Like this is my philodendron silver stripe, and I'm actually really surprised at how small the new growth has been, but it has been growing really fast, and I have to cut it a lot because it grows down literally to the floor, and I don't want the kids like messing with it. So there's that. And you guys, did you know that this is what the little bunny ears succulent grows up to be? this grotesque monster. My son really liked it though, so I hung it up in here, but something about it is offsetting to me. I don't know if I think it looks like a big cabbage or something, but it just ain't right. Something about it just ain't right. Then we even have these little babies coming in on it. I was thinking about like taking these off and planting them in some of the spots in my backyard since it's like really bright light back there, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And then we have a dogtail cactus that, believe it or not, has been underwater. Like, how do you underwater a cactus, for goodness sake? But it's not dead yet. I just had to remember to splash a little bit of something in there every now and again at the very least, and it'll be okay. And this is my philodendron tortum right here. This is the one I was telling you. First of all, this light blinks every time I talk, which is very distracting. Anyway, so this is my original tortum. I recently cut a bunch of pieces and propagated it, put it back into the pot. And now I have this little trellis on it just to kind of tame it up a little bit, but it's doing really well. And this is what I meant by like, that other one in my office does not look like this, but it does look like a more mature version. However, I've had this for like 4 years now. So I don't know how much mature it can get, but I don't know. And this is another plant that I have that will not stop growing. It's super thirsty, always hungry. Also, it won't stop talking and asking for Robux. Super annoying. Anyway, so if anybody wants a plant for free, I have one available right here, no returns. And this is just a little Syndapsis that I propagated and put here. It looks real wonky and sad, but it's okay for right now. I'm just gonna leave it alone. So guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I never thought I would say this, but I'm so tired of talking. I'm like losing my voice at this point. So I will see you guys in the next video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.